Well, good morning, everybody. Danny back from Pecan Grove here. Oh, it's a whole new day. It's so cold outside. I told Wanda, I looked outside, the windows on the vehicles, because we have such high humidity that everything's covered in dew. It's all iced over. The ground's we got a white frost this morning. I told Wanda, I said, I don't even want to go outside. I just want to sit here by the fire going on in the wood heater. And I said, I don't want to go look at my plants. I'm afraid my little plants has done got hurt, you know. I said, so the sun's coming up. Beautiful, clear morning. We had radiant cooling last night. Clouds all went away. Atmosphere cooled off. That's why we got so cold. And we're below freezing. We was 29 a while ago when I looked at it. And now that the sun is just starting to crest, I can see it hitting the ground out here a little bit. I looked and it was 33, so maybe it didn't go below freezing long enough to do any serious damage. But I promised you guys a video, and I want to try to make good on that. But before I do, I want to just take a few moments to talk about why I'm doing this video. Here in the Deep South where we live at, we've been dealing now with 2 years of severe drought. Now, we've had rain, you know, I mean, like the other day we got, this past whole week, the whole week we got 4.5 inches of rain. And that may sound like a lot, but when you had a deficit of over 30-something inches of rain over the last 2 years, 4.5 inches is a drop in the bucket. I mean, it didn't even put any water in the pond. There was no mud holes anywhere, you know, I mean, the ground just absorbed it every bit. Now, I'm going to say some things. You can believe it or not believe it. It's no skin off my nose. I just know what I'm going to do. One is, as we go into this next year, because of the solar cycles and what the sun's doing, it's being predicted. Okay, these are things that's being predicted to happen, and I have privy of it, so I'm going to pass it on to you guys because it's going to be the reason I'm making the decisions I'm making. We're being told that there's going to be some abnormal flooding that's going to happen this year, as was places last year as happened. And 2026, let me say that 2026 is going to be a year that's going to have some abnormal flooding. As a matter of fact, there's places in California that's going to be getting ungodly amounts of rain because coming off the Pacific Ocean, these anomalies with the weather, with these atmospheric rivers now they're calling them coming through, and this is all because of the solar cycles is what's going on with that. And if you go back and study solar history, these are normal. They happen normally. Just not like we're having this year. It's been like 600 years, 400 to 600 years cycles we go through these periods, and we're in one now, and it's not going to go away for a little while. But after this goes away, this water event that we're going to be experiencing, we're going to be experiencing tremendous drought, and this drought could last for years, as it's being predicted. Now, it's not carved in stone, but this is what's being predicted. And I'm going to, because it has played out true for us here in the Deep South, what they've told us over the years, I'm going to base my growing seasons on this. Now, I looked a while ago before I come here and sit down and told Wanda, I said, look where the sun is at. The sun's at a southern angle right now that's further than I think I've ever seen it since I've been here at Pecan Grove in the last 2 years. I've never seen it that far south this time of the year, and it is not at its furthest peak south, because it's got to go all the way to December 21st to be at its southernmost peak, and it's way past where it normally has been since we've been here. I told her, I said, that only means one thing. Being it's that much further south, that means we're going to be colder going into the spring. So, which means it's going to be a little difficult for us to get our crops in early enough to beat this heat. So that's why I have high tunnels and different things like that. And and because of the tremendous heat we're going to have in 2026, I'm going to, again, I'm moving my raised container gardens. I'm building new ones. I'm putting them under half shade, half sun. And I'm trying to block the middle day and evening sun. I don't mind the morning sun. The morning sun is fine, all the way up till about 12 noon. But after that, I don't want sun on my vegetables. Now, God, my throat's trying to clog up on me here this morning. All this weather change we're going through here. I want to talk to you about certain varieties of seeds that I have found here to work for us, and some things I went back and done some research about some things that lots of varieties of seeds are being taken away from us. They are literally taking some of the stuff away from us. Now, I will tell you this, in the future, now this is something that's very scary to me that I found out. In the future, heirloom seeds are probably not going to grow. As a matter of fact, a lot of hybrids are not going to grow. The seeds are being genetically modified as I speak to you, because the ones that are in control of all this knows what's fixing to happen with the weather in the next year or so. They know this tremendous drought is coming, and they know the temperatures are coming, and they're engineering seeds to be able to withstand this type of environmental changes. Now, they're doing it in the name of keeping the world fed, and there probably is a little bit of truth in that. I'm not saying there's a lot of truth in it, but there's a little bit of truth in that, because of the simple fact that, I just hate to say it, there's going to be a lot of people perish, just simply because of a lack of food in the very near future. What I have here is I have a packet. I've been ordering, waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks to get some of these seeds in. And some people have been gracious enough to even send me a couple of packs of seeds. They heard me, they picked up on what I was talking about in videos, and they have sent these things to me, some of them. And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, because I had looked and everywhere I was looking, I wasn't going to be able to get them fast like I wanted them. And some of these I've waited over a month, or a month and a half, to get some of these seeds. And some of them I already have. Some of the ones I want to talk to you about. So, because we've been through 2 years of drought here, I have learned certain varieties of vegetables that I'm going to be planting. Like I told you, I'm almost to the point, no more experimenting. Now it's basically going to be just planting what I know to work. Number one is going to be the okra that we grow here. We have now found that the white velvet okra, we believe that to be the variety that we have, white velvet okra went through a drought this year. And guys, the stuff, y'all saw my videos, the stuff produced more than Wanda and I would ever need. And that will be one of the varieties. Now, y'all have asked me about seed varieties, and listen, I'm going to be telling you about seed varieties. The white velvet okra is one that I will be planting again. Now, when it comes to tomatoes, I'm not 100% settled yet on a variety of tomatoes. I am settled on whether determinate or indeterminate. I'm not saying I won't plant some indeterminates, but my main crop of tomatoes this year will be determinates. If I can come up with the variety that I feel like will suit us best here. Because of our heat, there's no sense in us doing the indeterminates, because it's a prolonged crop all through the summer and everything. It just don't work in our heat now. Now we have indeterminates growing out here in the high tunnel right now through the cool weather. They're doing fantastic. They're just doing great. In the heat of the summer, no. We're going to try to stick with some variety of determinate tomato so that they can load up, get ready, and get over with and be done. Now, like I said, I don't know the variety yet, and when I do, I will try to tell y'all what variety we're going to choose to go with. Now, as far as field peas, now we're not talking about green peas or English peas, we're talking about field peas. Just about any one of your varieties of field peas will work, whether they're black-eyed peas, whether they're pink-eyed purple hulls, you know, Crowders, Mississippi purple hulls, just purple hull peas, you know, anything like that. Most any one of those will survive a heavy, dry, long period. Butter beans. Some people call them lima beans. Lima beans, butter beans are the same thing. The speckled ones do very well in the dry climate. Now the Hendersons, we did pretty fair with the Hendersons this year. The little green ones, Wanda likes those. They done okay, but we did have to keep some water to them. When it comes to green beans, we used to be able to grow a lot of varieties of green beans and they done well. But we're learning in the dry weather we're having now that the Cherokee yellow wax beans, the bush type, seems to be the one that is becoming the most prolific that we can grow in our climate now. So that's the only one we're going to be doing is the Cherokee yellow wax bean. Let me open up some of these seeds here. I'm just giving them, they're in random order today, okay? Now, what I'm going to talk about now, this one can be 8 as well, but because of the climate change, I went back and looked at weather patterns way back and what people planted and what produced well and stuff like that. Not only in this country, but other countries. We have a problem down here, if it's going to be a drought, we have a problem with keeping our winter grass growing, because down here in the deep south it stays below freezing a lot, but we can plant ryegrass down here and the ryegrass will stay green all winter long and the freezes won't kill it, and we can do that with oats and wheat also, winter wheat. And in the spring that stuff will shoot up there 3 feet high, sometimes 4 feet high, and you can go in there and cut and bale it for hay. And that's usually what we do here. We have ryegrass we bale for hay, plus our cows can graze on it all winter long. And they still have their green grass as long as you keep them loaded up with magnesium so they don't, you know, get magnesium poisoning. Now, back years and years ago when they didn't have any ryegrass and any winter crops to plant like this, they planted what was called red mammoth fodder beets. Now these are beets, and these things can be grown for sheep, goats, cattle, hogs, everything. These things get to be, I don't know, 10 or 12 inches tall. They get to be like as big as a football. You know, they get to be huge, and then they got a big leafy top on it and everything. I had a subscriber send these to me because I was having some difficulty finding what I was actually looking for, and they sent me a pack of them. From Victory Seed Company is where it came from. And I thank them for that, because that little small pack right there, I can probably plant some in a test plot and harvest the seeds off of them and maybe harvest the seeds off of them, and put it that way, and be able to get me a lot more and get them acclimated to my environment before all this weather event comes upon me. Now I may or may not show planting these in a test plot, but I wanted to share that with you. If you have animals, that red mammoth fodder beets is a good go-to if you have animals to keep them fed during the winter months. Now this has been used for thousands of years to keep animals fed. Now, getting back to the gardening, I want to share with you some seeds that, as our country in the 1940s, when we come out of the world wars, big ag began to take over. And when big ag began to take over, a lot of our older varieties of seeds were actually done away with. And there was a reason behind that. They did not want people to be sustainable like they had been through the 18th and 19th century. They just didn't want that anymore. They wanted to be able to control what you and I eat, what we can save our seed from, and everything like that. And these older varieties, a lot of these will still produce. Now, they're talking about, when I say this, we're talking about 4 to 5 years in the future now. They're saying that we may not be able to grow these, that because the weather conditions will become so harsh that only a genetically engineered seed will grow. Now, that's yet to be seen, but that is what's being said. But that's not going to keep me from still trying to grow what I'm wanting to grow. Now, a lot of us like pumpkins. You know, pumpkins are a great. Then the things I'm going to be telling y'all about are some things that'll be shelf-stable stuff that you can save throughout the winter months to be able to eat as well. Now, we have a pumpkin that you don't see hardly grown anymore. It's called Atlantic Giant. Now, this comes from Thresh Seed Company. The Atlantic Giant pumpkin is a really good pumpkin that used to be grown a lot during the 20s and the 30s and stuff like that. It was a very prolific one that was grown. Now, here is another. Let me see if I can get this one here out first. This one here is the long pie pumpkin. Now, this is a pumpkin that was very common at the turn of the century, all the way up till right after the World Wars. This was a very common pumpkin in most all gardens, was a long pie pumpkin. It is a very shelf-stable pumpkin. It will last for months and months into the winter months. If raised and the stem is left hanging on it, don't cut the stem off of it. Don't break the stem off of it. Leave the stem on it, cut it, and let it dry like it's supposed to. It'll have a hard skin on the outside of it, kind of like a butternut squash or something. And it will be very shelf-stable. And it will last, and it's very nutritious, loaded with a lot of beta-carotenes and stuff like that, your vitamins and stuff that you need. All these vegetables I'm going to tell you are loaded with different vitamins also to help keep you as healthy as possible. Now, another one is the white acre peas. Now, the white acre pea is a pea that was around for a long, long time, but they've almost been done away with, and the Hoss tool now carries the white acre peas, and I'm glad of that because it was one of your better growing peas for many, many, many years back years ago. So it's a really good pea to have, to be able to grow. Never have been a big lettuce person. I've grown a lot of lettuce in my life. I've grown a lot of the romaines and the butter crunches and stuff because Wanda loves lettuce. I've done some research looking back into the turn of the century. What was the most common lettuce that was grown at home back then? And there was a lettuce that's called tennis ball lettuce. Now, I've never grown this. I've never ate this. But according to what I've been able to find out, the tennis ball lettuce was one of the staple crops that people grew in the fall and the early spring, depending on what part of the country you live in. If you live in the south, it's planted in the fall. If you live in the north, it's planted in the spring. But it was supposed to be a very highly nutritious lettuce. It's called tennis ball lettuce, and this comes from Thresh Seed Company also. And not only was those types of vegetables very prolific and used a lot, but people also grew sunflowers. Now, sunflowers were grown not only for human consumption, but they were also grown for like chicken feed, to mix in with chicken feed and stuff like that, and animal feed for like goats and things of this nature. And there was a particular variety I found that was quite common back at the turn of the century, and it's called the giant gray striped sunflower seed. Now, giant gray striped sunflower seeds. This come from, if I can get it right here, Marty Ross and Company. Not sure about them, but that's where this little packet come from here. These are a few varieties. Now this, I'm still working. Don't get me wrong, I am still working. When it comes to tomatoes now, when I told you I'm not going to be growing an indeterminate, there is one indeterminate variety I will be growing because I've had such success with it, and it's a tomato that has been proven, and that is the Amish paste. We have grown those tomatoes for years and years over at Deep South, and they have proven themselves to me to be an indeterminate that I think I can get enough off of them to justify the means. So the Amish paste will be one that I'm growing. Lots of people talk about the Jet Star. I've never grown the Jet Star this far down south. I may look into growing it down here as a good tomato to grow. But that's yet to be seen, whether or not I do that or not. We will be doing the the jungle peanuts again. Now, I didn't have a good crop of peanuts this year. I had enough that I could save seed from, but that's about it. I didn't have enough to keep to eat or anything to that nature, because the purple sweet potatoes that I planted overtook the garden and overtook my peanuts where I couldn't take care of them. And for those of you who are looking for a variety of sweet potatoes that you just cannot get rid of, and if you like purple sweet potatoes, and these did have a really good taste, now I'm not knocking them, they had a great taste. They're loaded with anthocyanins, which is very great for your health. And that is the Purple Passion Sweet Potato from Taterman.com. If you've got containers to put them in and grow them, that's fine. Mine is in the garden up here now, and I am probably in trouble because I can't get them stopped. And if you're looking for something that can withstand the summer heat and make great potatoes, the Purple Passion is one that is, I have to go ahead and say it, it really did have a fairly decent taste, and it is very prolific. You know, it outshined every potato we planted, just about, as far as durability now on sweet potatoes. Now, sweet potatoes, lots of people like different varieties. Depends on what part of the country you live in as to which one will do best for you. But I do believe if you don't mind eating the purple ones, that they will be, they're not going away. Let me put it that way. And these jungle peanuts that we have up here coming up in the garden now, they've been through 24-degree temperature, and this morning, the frost this morning is very heavy. So it will tell the tale of whether that frost kills them or not. If it doesn't kill them, I'm probably going to take and go up there, and I'm probably going to dig them up if I can now. This is an experiment for me, because they're doing me no good in the garden now, because I got to replow the whole garden. I'll just plow them under anyway. I'm probably going to dig them up and see if I can find somewhere that's halfway protected from the cold and put them back into the ground and just see if they're going to make peanuts. If they do, then hey, I've done figured something out, you know. So another will be, I call them Irish potatoes. It's a red potatoes. We can't grow whites down here in the deep south very successful. Now we can grow them, but all we'll end up with is 1 or 2 just big old white potatoes per plant. And when I plant a potato, I want to be able to get 5 to 8 potatoes per plant in order for me to do what I call make it worthwhile for me. And the potato we found that does the best in our environment down here is the red Lesotho. The red Lesotho seems to do pretty good. Now the red Pontiac does fairly decent, but the red Lesotho seems to be the one that that does the best. So I thought this morning, guys, I'd get in here and make this video with you and share just some of the seed varieties. Now this is not all. I will be adding to this as I go along. And you know, some people like things like Jerusalem artichokes, and I'm not crazy about that kind of stuff. That's why I'm not mentioning it. But Jerusalem artichokes is a very hardy plant that grows fantastic, does well. When it comes to onions, depends on what part of the country you live in. I can't give you a variety because there's short day, long day, intermediate. All I can do is tell you down south here where I live at, there's 2 or 3 varieties that do really, really good. The Vidoras do good. Texas 1015s, Texas Super Sweets, Red Creoles, you know, all these types of onions do fairly well down here in the deep south. So I can't really give you any particular onion variety that goes and does better than any other one. So, you know, just make sure when you choose an onion variety, you make sure you get the right one for your length of day on onions. Now, multiplying onions do fantastic here in the deep south. Not nesting onions, but multiplying, the old-fashioned ones. I've got them. I've had for 20-something years. As far as garlic is concerned, the elephant garlic in the deep south is the only garlic that we can grow down here that really, without a lot of babying and everything, really just takes care of itself. You know, it puts on a corm, and that's spelled K-O-R-M, corm, and that is a seed that forms underground and it sprouts and makes a new garlic. The elephant garlics just keep multiplying and get more and more and more. And if you're looking for a chive here, onion chives grow here, but garlic chives do a lot better than onion chives do here in the deep south. Carrot variety, the Kuroda carrot from Hawaii has been the best carrot we have found so far for the deep south down here. And we will be growing those continually. And guys, if I come up with any more seed varieties and you keep watching us, I will show you in the videos which seed varieties that is. You just have to pay attention to the videos. Now when it comes to planting corn, the Danny corn has stood the test of time as far as I'm concerned. I've planted the Jimmy Red. It has done good. I am now looking at the Iroquois Indian corn I've had for many years. I may plant that this year just to get a new seed stock. It is a very good corn for making corn flour, cornmeal, and stuff to that nature. It is better known as the Texas gourd tooth corn also. So those are a few varieties of the seeds I'm going to be planting this year, guys. So stick with us, watch us, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you, guys, from Pecan Grove.